Hey guys, what's up? It's Audra and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm doing a pretty highly requested video after what my past month has been. So today I'm going to be doing a little kind of like good, bad, and ugly of touring. And I put out a Q&A question little box thing on my Instagram so that you guys could ask me questions and that would kind of like lead this whole like video. So thank you all for submitting questions. I have a whole list of questions to answer right here. That'll be like a little tour Q&A where I talk about all the good things about tour, all the bad things about tour, and everything in between. So let's get started. All right, we're gonna start with kind of the most simple one that I got from like obviously a lot of people. This is kind of like where I wanted to go with this video. So this is gonna be the easiest / hardest things about being on tour. And honestly, quite honestly, they are not what you would think. I think probably some of the hardest things about being on tour is the schedule. It's pretty demanding, only at certain times, and the rest of the time you pretty much are not doing anything. So the hardest part is like, figuring out a sleep schedule, figuring out a driving schedule, figuring out when you're gonna eat. Like things that you normally don't have to worry about, you do have to worry about on tour. Like you don't know when you're gonna have time to go get your next meal. You don't know how many hours you're gonna sleep in a night. And you don't know what time you're gonna have to be anywhere until usually the day before. So you could drive and be like, I don't wanna drive tonight, we're only gonna drive 2 hours, have 5 hours of your drive and have to be there at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Get up early and drive, So a lot of that is kind of up in the air while you're on tour, and so I think scheduling is probably the hardest part about it. On the complete opposite end, the easiest part about tour is the actual playing of the show. Obviously, that's what we're there for. That's what we're good at. We play music, and that's our job. So that is the easiest part. That, like, all the difficult stuff about that is figured out before you even go on tour. So once you're on the tour, all of that just seems so simple. You don't even have to worry about it. And it's super nice because that's just one less thing that you have to worry about while you're there. So definitely the actual, sense of playing the show is the easiest thing. Playing the show, selling the merch, doing the stuff that you're actually there to do is by far the easiest part compared to like all the little things you have to deal with on tour. I love this one. This is from Madeline. She said, what is your favorite snack to keep in the car? So at the beginning, we were doing very well in snacking because I bought a bunch of snacks before we left. So I had like fruit and like granola bars and like all the stuff. So good for you, right? You get halfway through the tour and all of that just goes out the window. I will say though, in the first few weeks, we did enjoy the fruit and the granola bars. But after that, it was like literally what you could find at the gas station. We ate a ton of Fritos, which was like so weird. I like corn nuts, so I ate a ton of corn nuts. And then gas station, like Starbucks coffee was like my saving grace on this tour. Turns out they have this new kind that is nitro cold brew in a can, and that I had so much. It was delicious. And then at the end of the tour, had like such a sweet tooth. I wanted like candy all the time. So I was getting those Mambas, those like kind of like Starburst, like fruit chew things from like the gas stations, and those were really good. Those kept me awake in the car. Next question is, did you guys have any pre / post show traditions? Not really. No. I don't know. Like on our last tour we did a little hands in before every show, but this show we were just so relaxed. We were just like, all right, let's go. And then we just like start. I think it was a lot less stressful on this tour because there were more bands, and obviously like Against Current, it was our first tour. We were like, and we were like, oh my god, Against Current. And like with this tour, we like already met all of Point North. We knew John. We met Andy at like the K Management show in January. So like we had already met them. It was way less scary, way less stressful. So I mean, I guess our pre-show traditions were like kind of during the day, we'd like go and get food and like go get boba. That was a big thing when we were with the home team. We got boba with them every single day, and then we carried that tradition on by ourselves on the East Coast. And we ate Uncrustables before and after the shows. That was another one of our things. So it all had to do with food. It all centered around food. Because like I said, you didn't know when your next meal was, so that was kind of like okay, we have time before we play? Go get food. We have time after we play? Time to eat. That kind of thing. But no like crazy like hands in, let's say this like speech before, you know, every show. I don't know. We just didn't do that. That wasn't our thing. All right, next person asked, what were your favorite hairstyles on tour? I was big fan of like the, not really half up. I'll try and demonstrate. Half up, kind of half down, but not really. Just like my front pieces pulled back, either like this, or I would leave a strand down in the front, or I'd like braid it back. I don't know. I used to like leaving all my hair down on stage because I was like, oh, it looks so cool. I can like toss it around, you know? But it started to actually drive me insane. And I was like sweating and like these were gross. I didn't have bangs on our last tour, so that was like a new thing that I had to get used to. They kept getting stuck in my mouth and like all this. So I ended up just tying my hair back for like every single show, at least in the front. So that was kind of the vibe for this. So that was my favorite thing. It had to be with rubber bands though, because clips wouldn't stay in my hair while we played. Okay, next up, somebody asked, how gross was the grossest you felt at any given time? This is, I have an exact day that I can tell you. So, we were in Florida. I think we came from, I don't know where, Atlanta or, no, maybe we were, no, we came from Amanda's. Okay, we came from North Carolina. We had a day off. Driving to Florida, we get out of the car at night and we're like, holy crap, I feel so disgusting, the humidity. Then we get into our hotel, and the air conditioning was like working, obviously, but it's so freaking hot and humid in Florida that it did not matter that the air conditioning was running. We had our hotel room set to like 65 degrees, and it felt like 80. Like, none of us slept with blankets on. Like, we were just laying on top of bed. So, in the morning, me and Matt get up, and we go to the pool, because we were like, dude, it's hot. Let's go swimming. There's an outdoor pool. Super nice. So, we went swimming, and we felt just so sticky and disgusting. We came up to the room to shower, and, like, I got out of the shower and I was like, I don't even feel, like, clean. I just, like, still feel sticky. And Matt was said the same thing. Like, there's no escaping that, like, stickiness. So I literally showered, felt clean, went back outside, and instantly just felt disgusting. And then, of course, we got into our next place late, so I didn't want to shower when we got there. So I literally just went to bed like that and then showered in the morning. That was the grossest I felt all of tour. Anywhere that it was, like, hot, humid, like, was my favorite place to be because I love the warmth. But I just felt like so disgusting because you're sweating at the show and then you're sweating outside. Ugh, it's just so gross. All right, I really loved this question. Somebody asked, what was your comfort item, like something that made you feel like at ease when you're on tour? This blanket that I'm sitting on. I brought this blanket and this pillow with me, and I brought it everywhere because I hate like going into hotels and like not having my blanket, not having my pillow. And I also loved having it in the car because we slept so much in the van that I was like, I just want to have my own stuff. So that was super nice. Like we would get done the show and I'd get in a car and just curl up in this blanket and just pass out and go to bed. So this blanket, that was the answer. All right, next one, somebody asked, what do you feel when you go on stage? It's a lot of excitement. There's not a lot of nerves anymore, especially after we got through like the first like 3 shows. All of the nerves went away, and it was literally just fun. Because you're so stressed about everything leading up to the show that the show is the most enjoyable part, and you just have a great time, and that's like what I love most about tour. Speaking of on stage, somebody said, what was your favorite stage outfit? And I'd say it was probably Pittsburgh, or gosh, what was the brick and mortar show? Where was that? San Francisco? I think San Francisco maybe. That was like my black, I don't know, I'll put it down here if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's San Francisco. But I think it was my black skirt with the chain, and I wore a black top with it, and then my Pittsburgh one was my new leather skirt with a white shirt. I was vibing with the skirts on this tour. I just bought a bunch. Maybe I'll do a try on haul. But I bought a bunch of stuff, like, because I figured out kind of what I like to wear on stage and how I like to like dress on this tour, because I had so much more time to figure it out compared to against the current. So I have some new outfits in the works for the next one. We're going to stay on the topic of clothes right now because I cannot get over how many questions I had in this little box about the leather skirt and Chrissy. Holy crap. People are like, oh my god, you look like Chrissy Costanza. Where'd you get that leather skirt? You look like Chrissy, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I texted Chrissy and I asked her where she gets clothes for tour because, number one, tour clothes get absolutely demolished all the time. They are being thrown around your bag. They're not being taken care of. It's really hard. So I was like, hey, where do you find clothes that are like good, you know, to like keep, that are like, you know, will keep intact when you're on tour? She posts about it all the time. So I slid up on her story and I was like, dude, is this where you get your clothes from? And she was like, yes, this is where I get all my clothes. So I got that leather skirt from Aritza, I don't know how you say it, which is exactly where she got it. I didn't know that she actually had that skirt, so now we literally have the same skirt. But yes, me and Chrissy have the same skirt. Obviously, like, as you guys already know, Against the Current was like a huge inspiration for us in First Love and Concrete Castles. So like I've always watched her stuff. I always have seen like how she dresses on stage, how she presents herself, and I really, really like it. So that's definitely where some of the inspiration comes from for like these outfits. I like to take that from somewhere and like have at least a starting point to be like, okay, what do I like? What do people wear that makes them comfortable on stage? Will I be comfortable in it? That kind of thing. So Chrissy was definitely a big one. Obviously going on a tour with them helped a ton. You could see all of that, but I did just message her and be like, where do you get these? So that's why you all can stop asking about the leather skirt now. All right, next one, somebody asked, what was the most scenic part of the drive? Honestly, a lot of our drive out there was the most scenic because obviously we drove all the way across the country to get to the tour. So I was sleeping during this. We drove through the Badlands, heard that was pretty cool. Matt got it on video for me, so I got to see it afterwards. But I'd say probably South Dakota when we went to go see Mount Rushmore. That was really cool. Truckee, California, and kind of like down that like west coast, you know, where we were. So it was like San Francisco, Fresno, and Sacramento was really pretty. And then Salt Lake City and Denver were really cool. Basically anywhere, and then anywhere that we were going through, like Rocky Mountains and stuff, was really pretty too. All right, next somebody asked, will you change your hair color for the next Concrete Castle tour? I don't know. That depends when the next Concrete Castle tour is. I do want to do something different with my hair. I might go back to the dark. I don't know. I still want to do the Chrissy style that I tried to do, and then she did it first, and I was like, well, now I can't do it. But I had the idea. And I want to do dark on top and do bleach blonde underneath. And my hair is in a good place. I think I talked about this in a video. My hair is in a good place where I could like do the top dark, but then my hair is still light enough that I could bleach the bottom and like not have to worry about just absolutely destroying my hair. So I think I want to do that still. I don't know though. All right, next up somebody asked, did you record Sting before or during the tour? So if you guys watch my January vlog, I actually have videos of us recording Sting there. So we recorded the song in January and then kind of decided that we wanted to release it around the tour. So we had it all done and ready before we even left because John produced and, you know, mixed it and did all of that for us. So everything was just between like the three of us and John. So it was really easy. And that was all done before we left, and then the video was the only thing that we shot on tour, but the song and all that was already done before we even left for tour. All right, next up we have higher excitement rating, performing a show, or releasing a new song. God, I don't know. Truly, I think I'm gonna have to go with performing a show just because it's very rewarding and like exciting to see people in person reacting to your song. Not to say that when you release new music, it's not cool to see that online. Like, you see me checking, like, every day to see how many streams Sting is at. Like, today when I hit 100,000, I was like, oh my god! Like, losing my mind. But to hear all that in person is, like, a whole different kind of feeling that, like, nothing else can really compare to. And just that adrenaline rush of, like, being on stage and, like, performing your songs live is totally different than even just, like, recording your songs. It's like I'm singing my song to people and people are singing me the words, and that is like an insane feeling that nothing else can ever compare to. Speaking of our songs, somebody asked, did you ever forget the lyrics to any songs on stage? I did not. There's only one mishap that we had. So this is a funny story. When we were in I don't know, I think it was Atlanta, Sam had a little like tambourine thing on his hi-hat, and he was like, plays that a lot in Concrete Castles, and the tambourine flew off the hi-hat and hit the pause, like stop button on our samples, and all of our samples stopped in the middle of a song, and I thought our computer crashed, and I was like, all right, Audra, be prepared, you need to stall. So we get done with the song, we still had 2 more songs left. It was Wish I Missed You, and we had Half Awake and Sting left. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to stall for my life. And so I get ready to talk, and then the click comes back in, and I thought maybe it just restarted. and I just like ignored it. And then it came in on the right song. So I had no idea during the show that the tambourine had flew off and hit stop. I thought the computer just crashed and I didn't know what was going on because I was obviously facing the crowd and Sam was behind me. So I like was so ready to like stall, and then halfway just came in and I missed the beginning of it because I thought that it was like a different song, because I was like, I don't know where we are anymore, because I didn't know what happened. So that was the only time that I like actually like missed something, was just the beginning of Half Awake, that one show, and everything else was fine. Okay, these two I'm gonna kind of group together. So they were, what do you miss most about tour, and what was like the most like fun or best thing aside from like performing on tour? That's the people. I miss the people a lot. It's really weird, like, you spend your whole entire month, and like, I mean, even more than that, with these people, and they start off as your friends, and then they're like your family, and then you have to leave them. And obviously you get to see them, like, you're in a tight-knit music community. Like, as you guys know, you saw me post about it a few days ago, we went and saw Sharia Moore, because they played in Buffalo. And, like, we'll see Point North and Lotus at So What Fest when we go, and we'll probably go right with John again soon. And so it's, like, not that you'll never see them again, but, like, when you go from spending every single day, like, every moment of every day together, to just not seeing each other for a while, it's, like, a very weird thing. We're gonna see Joey, too, the sound guy, for us at So What. And Mike, the driver, like, lives close to us, so, like, we'll be able to see him. So it's not like we're not going to see everyone, but it still is a weird thing going from seeing somebody every single day, spending all your time with them, and only, like, talking to those people, to just, you're done, and you don't see them, and you obviously still talk to them, you still keep in touch, but, like, you don't see them every day, and you're not spending all the time together, and you're back with your friends at home, and you're back to your, like, other job, like, we're back to First to 11, and it's, like, a very weird, like, on and off switch that you kind of have to, like, you know, switch when you're on tour and when you're not. All right, this one was, did you get nervous before the shows, and if so, how did you deal with it? I really didn't get nervous. I mean, the only show that I got super nervous for was the Pittsburgh show, because that was like our hometown show, and we had Andy. Andy gives the most like infamous best pep talks ever before shows. So we had Andy come back and give us like a pep talk, and he does like the everybody take a deep breath in. It's at the beginning of the Sting video, so you'll see it. But that was like the thing that like calms everybody down, is like knowing everybody around you is there to like support you and like have fun is like really cool. And you just kind of like go up and do what you love, so there's not really anything to get nervous about. Okay, definitely forgot to write this one down, but somebody asked me what my favorite song to sing on was that wasn't a Concrete Castle song, and I'm really excited to answer this one. So if you guys didn't know, towards the end of the tour, John got COVID, and we had to fill in at some shows, so I got to sing like 5 Point North songs. Number one, I think my favorite one to sing was Ghost in My Home, but I absolutely adored singing Into the Dark every night with them, like with John. The Kellen part is extremely hard, like he is such a good singer, it makes me want to throw up. But that song was crazy fun. I just love that song anyways. And then I got to sing Girl Next Door with Lotus, which was honestly probably the funniest moment of tour, because he had no idea that I was going to sing it. I just showed up and surprised him. And you can see it if you guys watch my hometown show vlog. It's in there. But he was literally shocked, like did not even know what to say. When I came up and like said that I was gonna sing it with him. So I'd say my favorite to sing by myself with Point North was Ghost in My Home, and then I loved singing with John and like playing like with Point North on Into the Dark, because of like the crowd got so hyped about that song. And then Girl Next Door, obviously. Singing the Lil Aaron part was pretty fun. I have to admit, I did enjoy it. Alright, I've got 3 more questions left. This one is really funny to me. I don't know why, but somebody said, how much coffee did you drink a day on tour? I drank less coffee on tour than I drink when I'm home. Like, most days, I would not have a coffee. So I drank a ton of Throat Coat, which is disgusting. Don't ever drink it. I drank a ton of Throat Coat on tour, which is like this like herbal, like medicine, whatever, tea that like soothes your throat. Every day I drank that, and I hated it, every second of it. But a lot of times I didn't have coffee and we didn't really have time to go get coffee, but when we did, I always got coffee. Towards the end, we started getting a little bit more because we kind of got exhausted and very tired and we needed it. But at the beginning, we were just so excited that I didn't need any coffee. I was just vibing. But yeah, I drank less coffee on tour than I do when I'm at home, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Next one that somebody asked was the hardest travel in between gigs. So I don't know if it was like the hardest thing about traveling in between gigs or like what was the actual hardest like trip in between. So I'll give you both. So I think the hardest thing about traveling was figuring out how much to drive at night, because Matt drives at night. Usually he likes driving a lot and he's really good at it, and he's really good at driving at night because he can stay up. So I would literally just go to sleep and he would drive, but like I felt so bad. Sometimes he would have to drive like 4 hours after the show, so we wouldn't get to our hotels until like 3 a.m. And like you're already exhausted from like the day you've had, and it's just rough. It's a rough drive. And those were like the ones that had obviously a ton of like time in between, where it was like 8 hours to like drive to get to the next show, where you drive 4 hours in the night, 4 hours in the morning. The actual hardest drive was from Salt Lake City to Denver. It's actually like a very dangerous drive because of the weather and the time of year that we were going. Just like literally like a week before, like another band flipped their van, and like it's very dangerous, it's very scary. So we were a little terrified for that drive, and it was snowing, but it was only snowing in like Salt Lake City, and then it kind of got better as we got into Denver, and then it was snowing as we left Denver, but after that we were like, okay, we're good. So we actually got really lucky with the weather. There was no ice on the road. It was like not super duper cold. So we were very, very lucky in being able to like safely make that drive. Everybody says, why don't they just put a day in between Salt Lake City and Denver? I don't know. I don't know why. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, that definitely was the scariest drive for sure. All right, very last question. Again, thank you guys so much for asking all these questions on my Instagram. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. So I'm gonna end this on an interesting one that I had to come up with 2 answers to, because I couldn't just think of one for the 2 sides of tour. So this question is, describe tour in 1 word, and I couldn't pick just one. So I picked 2. And they both make a ton of sense, and I'll explain them. Well, the one I can explain, the one doesn't need an explanation. My first thing that I thought of was rewarding. It's very fun and rewarding to go out, see people, like I was saying, you get to sing your own songs that obviously have a lot of meaning to you, and you get to see other people sing them back to you, and other people relate to them, and other people tell you how much you mean to them, like as a band, and it's a crazy experience that you can't really explain to anyone. Like you just have to experience it to know like what it feels like, and it's such a cool thing, and it's very cool, especially for us when our entire career basically has been online. It's like we don't get to do this that often, or we didn't get to do it that often. Now we do. But it's definitely a whole different ballgame, like going out and actually seeing people in person and hearing their feedback and their thoughts about you in person, and it's very, very rewarding. So that is definitely the first word I thought of. Second word I thought of, kind of a joke, kind of not, is just exhausting, and I feel like that's enough said. You get it after watching this whole video. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this good, bad, and ugly tour Q&A little video that I put together. Thank you again for asking questions and for participating in this video. I hope that I answered a bunch of them that you guys were dying to hear about, and if I didn't get to your question, I apologize. Don't worry, I'll do more Q&As where you can ask more questions. But thank you guys again so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss an upload every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye! See you next week!